Imerikanjaka, only 20 kilometers from Antananarivo, Madagascar's capital, and feels like a place from another world. Well, coming to think about it, Madagascar as a whole is another world. So how did I end up starting my Madagascar trip in a village without electricity and running water? For quite a while, I've been thinking about cities versus villages. In a world obsessed with cities, people rush to metropolitan areas in search for work and opportunities, but many do not find them. Meanwhile, villages are left behind, although they may provide sustainable, calm, and healthy life. Perhaps chasing wealth is not for everyone. In this era of abusing Earth, can we learn to appreciate what the land gives us? What village life contributes to our well-being? So when Raha published his call for volunteers, I immediately understood it is an opportunity to actually take part in an initiative which may provide some answers to my dilemma. In Madagascar, the majority of the population lives in villages. Raha claims that for many Malagasy people, dealing with urban-oriented occupations, such as industry and services, is not a relevant option. With an academic background in sociology, communication and tourism, he is developing a model for sustainable living and an inspiration for visitors from other countries. A collaboration between locals and visitors that can create a fertile ground for enhancing rural life. Life which is close to earth, yet rich with culture, experiences, and proper education. Foreign visitors can assist in teaching and support local produce. In return, they may gain a practical knowledge in permaculture while enjoying a serene, pollution-free environment. The center of Raha's project is located on the hills above the village. Raha calls it the domain, and it consists of a central house built in traditional building methods and surrounded by agricultural land and, not less important, many spots for contemplation. The house has a wooden skeleton, and the walls are made from mud, made from local soil. This is hand sculpture. I mainly work on the internal walls, and besides practicing the technique, I also learn an important Malagasy phrase, mura mura. Yep, no rush here. Anything has its time. But Raha rushes to share his knowledge and teach, and after 2 days, I'm already familiar with basic Malagasy words. For truly professional traditional mud building, look at Mand, a short for Armand, building the walls for the shower room. Mand was hired by Raha to support the basic professional work needed to set up the structure. Later, he worked on the door, an important object, both functionally and symbolically. I have a lot of time to roam around and immerse myself in the rural atmosphere. The hills above the villages and the domain provide a magnificent view. Unlike the house in the domain, where mud was directly applied on the walls, most village houses are built from mud bricks. This gives the highlands villages of Madagascar their unique reddish shade.
In Malagasy.
Trenches dug around the village and between agricultural plots, called adivori, as well as remains of old fortresses, provide a glimpse into troubled times in the region's rich history. No wonder this area also has some intriguing places of worship, where natural features are inseparable. When I descend from the hill, I pass through a creek, full of trees and lush vegetation. This is probably how the whole highlands looked like before people cleared the land for settlements and agriculture. Yet it is pretty remarkable to see how simple traditional agriculture methods are followed here, with the majority of work done by hand, with a minor assistance from work animals. From above, The patterns made by agricultural fields are enchanting. My visit takes place in October. An approaching thunderstorm signals the end of the dry season, enhances the landscapes, and fills the land and creeks with red flows. The rain was a chance to discover that the roof needs an extra blanket of straw. As with the mud, the material is obtained from the immediate environment, and Leka, a short for Alexandre, is responsible for carefully gathering the straw and placing it correctly to thicken the thatched roof. The project already proves its contribution to the locals. Mand and Leka are provided with an income. They are introduced to upgraded building methods, such as using the wooden frames for mud building and mixing additional available materials into the mud to create the wall's fine finish. They both enjoy seeing Raha's sustainability dream coming true. Raha summarizes his will to provide a place where wild environment, local villagers and visitors can interact together and learn from each other. The location of the domain on the hill is symbolic. Seeing far, meaning reaching far, and reaching far for Raha means a model for sustainable and self-sufficient living based on traditional practices in a clean environment. For me, this was an unforgettable, life-changing experience. Indeed, some of my thoughts proved true. Turning village life into a model for desired living is achievable and is taking form in the place where it really is needed. Several other foreign visitors already arrived and fell in love with the place, and I hope many more will come and experience this unique opportunity and contribute to this promising model. Such project also has a potential to draw new types of visitors, not just high-end tourists, thus reducing the tension between Caucasian visitors and locals, which is typical to tourism in Africa.